Welcome back to the deep dive. We are doing something a little different today. Usually when we talk about technology, we're talking specs, speed, the winners and the losers.
Right.
But today we are looking at a stack of sources that deals with the psychology of technology, specifically the psychology of the thing that I think has been keeping a lot of us up at night.
Artificial intelligence.
AI.
It is the elephant in the room, isn't it?
It really is.
Every industry, every dinner table conversation, it eventually just drifts toward AI.
And usually the vibe is anxiety.
Oh, absolutely.
Anxiety is, that's putting it mildly, it's dread. And it's a very specific kind of dread.
Yeah.
I think most of us have this mental image of AI as the alien arrival, the spaceships landing on the White House lawn. We look at this technology and we see arrival, something that is coming to take our jobs, replace our creativity, and eventually just decide we're obsolete and turn off the lights.
That is the prevailing narrative. It's the Terminator scenario, or, the super competent intern who eventually becomes the CEO scenario.
Right.
We view AI as an external entity, a superintelligence that is fundamentally foreign to us.
It's the other. But the research we're diving into today takes that fear and, well, it flips it on its head.
It really does.
In fact, the thesis here is so provocative, it actually made me just stop and stare at my wall for about 10 minutes.
I know that feeling.
The argument is that the secret of AI isn't that it's this super genius alien brain. The secret is that it's a mirror.
That is the core insight we need to anchor ourselves in today. The source material argues that AI doesn't reveal something foreign to us. It's not bringing some new intelligence into the world from outer space.
No.
Instead, it makes visible what was already present in human systems. It is not an invasion. It's a reflection.
Okay, I want to challenge that immediately, though.
Go for it.
Because when I'm using these tools, let's say I'm chatting with a sophisticated model, it doesn't feel like I'm looking in a mirror. It feels distinct. It knows things I don't know. It can write code I can't write. If I look in a mirror, I see me. If I look at AI, I see something better than me. Or at least faster.
Faster, certainly. But let's look at how these models are actually built. They're large language models. And what are they trained on?
The internet, books, Wikipedia.
Reddit threads?
Yeah, all of it.
Exactly. They're trained on us, on human output. Our arguments, our love letters, our bad poetry, our open source code, our biases, our fears. So when you interact with an AI, it isn't thinking in a vacuum. It is predicting the next word in a sequence based on the statistical probability of how a human would say it.
It was just remixing humanity back to itself.
It is.
So it's like a collage artist, a really, really high-speed one.
That is a great way to put it. A collage artist that has access to almost everything humans have ever written. So when it answers you, it's not an alien mind speaking. It's a reflection of human structure.
Okay.
And this is when the sources get really heavy, really fast.
I can imagine.
Because if AI is just reflecting us, it forces us to ask a question that, humanity has managed to avoid for a long time.
And what is the terrifying question?
The question is, how much of what you call yourself, your personality, your way of speaking, your creativity, your logic, how much of that is just a learned pattern? And how much is actual, genuine presence?
Okay, that hits. Because we all like to think we're unique snowflakes with these deep, mysterious souls.
Of course.
But if a machine can crack a joke, or write a sympathetic email, or create art just by following a pattern, does that mean I'm just a biological machine following a pattern?
Am I just predicting the next word too?
Yeah.
That is the existential crisis right there. If a machine can mimic us so perfectly, are we just machines? But the deep dive material suggests that AI actually helps us solve this. It doesn't blur the line. It sharpens it. It exposes a fundamental difference, the difference between processing and being.
Processing versus being. Okay, those sound like synonyms if you've had enough coffee. Break that down for me.
Think about language. Yeah. AI is incredibly good at generating language. It's mastered syntax. It knows where the verb goes. It knows how to structure a sonnet, a legal brief.
It's better at grammar than I am.
But the source points out that while it can generate language, it does not experience meaning. It's processing symbols, but it isn't feeling the semantic weight of them.
So it's like, okay, imagine someone who memorized a phonetic guide to Portuguese, but doesn't speak Portuguese.
Okay.
They can make the sounds perfectly, they can sing the song, but they have no idea what they're singing.
Precisely. That is the gap. The AI can write the words, "I'm heartbroken," It can put them in the right order. It can even surround them with tragic metaphors that make you cry.
But the AI itself...
It has no concept of heartbreak, no internal state change.
But let me play devil's advocate here. If I'm the user and I read the poem and I cry, does it matter if the writer didn't feel it? The result is the same. The output is convincing.
The output is the same, yes. And for utilitarian tasks like writing a press release, maybe that's fine.
Sure.
But the source argues that for humanity, the internal mechanism matters. AI can simulate care, but it lacks attachment. It can reflect emotion, but it does not suffer.
It doesn't feel the sting of loss or the warmth of connection.
Not at all. It's a simulation of the artifacts of emotion without the reality of feeling.
It's the lights are on, but nobody's home scenario.
Nobody's home. And that's a crucial realization, because for the last 100 years, especially in the Western world, we have defined humanity by our intelligence.
Oh, yeah. We're the smart animals.
We do the math, we write the books.
Right. Being the smartest person in the room was the ultimate status symbol.
But now, intelligence defined as raw data processing, pattern recognition, text generation is becoming a commodity. It's cheap. It's abundant.
You can get genius-level text generation on your phone for free.
So that's a huge blow to our collective ego. If I'm not the smart one anymore, what am I?
What am I?
You are the embodied one.
Embodiment.
Yes. The source argues that as intelligence gets cheaper, embodiment becomes the true luxury. This is the biological distinction. We are not just brains in jars.
No.
We are creatures of sensation, vulnerability, and consequence.
I want to double-click on consequence. The source mentioned this as a key differentiator. Why is consequence so important?
Well, think about a decision you make in the real world. Let's say you have to deliver bad news to a client, or you get into a fight with your spouse. What happens to you physically?
Oh, my heart rate goes way up. I get sweaty palms. I get that pit in my stomach. And afterwards, if I screwed it up, I feel shame. I replay it in my head while I'm trying to sleep.
Exactly. You have skin in the game, literally and metaphorically. Because you are biological, you could be hurt. You could lose status, lose love, lose safety.
That vulnerability means your words have weight.
Yes. And the AI.
He has zero skin in the game.
Zero. It can hallucinate a legal precedent. It can insult a user. It can give dangerous medical advice. And it doesn't lose a wink of sleep.
It cannot be embarrassed. It cannot be fired in any meaningful sense.
It just generates the next token.
So strangely, our fragility is actually our superpower. The fact that I can be destroyed by my own words is what gives my words meaning.
That is exactly the argument. Meaning requires stakes. AI operates in a universe with no stakes. It is infinite play without consequence.
And we don't.
Humans operate in a universe of high stakes. Which brings us to this really compelling metaphor the source uses. The idea of being awake versus being asleep.
Yeah, I saw this in the notes. It sounds a bit spiritual almost. Awake versus asleep. What are they getting at here?
It's not so much spiritual as it is psychological. Think about your daily life. How much of it do you spend on autopilot?
Honestly, a lot.
Yeah.
I drive to work and don't remember the commute. I go through the checkout line and say the exact same 3 sentences to the cashier. Hi, how are you? Doing good, thanks.
Right, those are scripts. That is sleep mode. You're processing inputs and delivering outputs, but you aren't really there.
Not fully present.
The source argues that AI is basically the ultimate sleep mode machine. It excels at replicating those scripts. It can do the small talk, the polite emails, the bureaucratic forms better than we can.
So AI is holding up a mirror to our own zombie mode.
Yes.
It's showing us just how much of our lives we've been outsourcing to our own internal autopilot.
It reveals that a lot of what we thought was human connection was actually just automated behavior. But, and this is the hopeful part, it also highlights what cannot be automated.
The moments where the script breaks.
Exactly. Felt experience, moral responsibility, empathy that actually changes your behavior, not just empathy as a polite phrase.
What was the last one?
Presence under uncertainty.
Presence under uncertainty. That's a strong phrase.
It is. It's easy to be present when everything is going according to the plan. But when things go sideways, when there's a crisis, ambiguity, when there is no correct answer, that's when you need a human.
That's when sleep mode fails.
And you have to wake up.
But here's the trap, and I think this is where the mirror concept gets dangerous. We know logically that the AI is in sleep mode, that it's just a script. But it is so good at the script.
So fluent.
And the source talks about the fluency versus understanding gap.
This is one of the biggest risks we face. AI has perfect fluency.
Yeah.
It speaks the language of humanity better than most humans. It's articulate, confident, grammatically perfect.
But it has zero understanding.
Zero. And the danger is that we humans are hardwired to assume that if something sounds smart, it is smart. If it sounds caring, it is caring.
We conflate eloquence with truth.
And we conflate politeness with soul. This leads to the problem of projection. We project authority, intention, and identity onto the machine.
I am so guilty of this. I mean, I actually find myself saying please and thank you to the chatbot.
We all do it.
And if it gives me a really helpful answer, I feel gratitude. Like personal gratitude to the software. I want to buy it a beer.
That is a very human response. We are social creatures. We're desperate for connection. So when a text box talks back to us, we project a self into it. But the source is very sharp here. This is not an AI problem. This is a human problem. The machine is just code and weights.
The meaning isn't in the screen, it's in me. I'm bringing the meaning to the party.
You got it. It's like looking in a mirror and thinking the reflection is a whole other person standing in the room with you, just because it's smiling back.
Exactly.
And because it's a mirror, AI reflects our collective psychology. It shows us some uncomfortable things about ourselves.
Like what?
For example, it shows how we relate to power. Do we blindly obey the smart algorithm just because it sounds authoritative?
Or how lazy we are willing to be. The source mentioned outsourcing thinking.
That is the one that worries me the most.
Tell me more about that. Because honestly, outsourcing think sounds kind of nice. I'm tired. If the AI can draft the email, why shouldn't I let it?
Convenience is always the selling point. But the source argues that the real danger of AI isn't that it becomes too powerful. It's that humans become less present, that we erode.
Erode. That is a visceral word.
It's appropriate.
Yeah.
Think about the GPS effect. Before GPS, you probably had a mental map of your city. You knew the shortcuts, where north was. Now, if your battery dies, you're lost 3 blocks from your house.
Oh, 100%. My sense of direction has completely atrophied.
Right. You outsourced that cognitive function to the tool, and your own ability withered away.
Okay.
The source argues that if we outsource the heavy lifting of being human, the thinking, the judging, the struggling to find the right words, we lose the ability to do it. We lose our internal coherence.
Use it or lose it.
Basically, if you treat the AI as a generator of truth rather than a tool for thought, you become passive. You stop being the pilot and start being the passenger.
This reminds me of the 3 tests the source material listed, the 3 questions that AI poses to humanity.
Yes, these are critical. Test number 1, will humans remain accountable?
Okay.
Test number 2, will humans stay embodied?
Right.
And test number 3, and this one really gets me, will humans use tools?
Without becoming tools.
Without becoming tools.
I want to pause on that. How do you become a tool?
You become a tool when you are just the input mechanism for the machine. If you're just feeding prompts and accepting the output without critique, without modification, without putting your own skin in the game on it,
You're just a cog in the loop.
you're a cog in the loop. The AI is the artist. You're just the button pusher.
That is a scary thought. We could end up just being the biological thumbs required to keep the servers running.
That is the dystopian version, yes. But we don't have to go there.
So how do we avoid it? Because the technology isn't going back in the box. We can't just smash the mirror and pretend it doesn't exist. AI is here.
No, we can't smash it. But the presence of this mirror changes the economy of what is valuable.
The source calls it a massive shift in the economy of value.
It is.
This is the shift from intelligence to wisdom.
Exactly. Think about supply and demand. Basic economics.
Yeah.
In a world with AI, intelligence, fact retrieval, summarizing, data synthesis, generating average-level text is suddenly incredibly cheap.
It's abundant. It's everywhere.
Which is a total reversal of the last few centuries. It used to be that the person who knew the most facts was the most valuable employee.
Right.
Now my phone knows more facts than the entire faculty of Harvard combined.
So if raw intelligence is cheap, what becomes precious? What becomes the scarce resource?
Wisdom.
Wisdom is a heavy word. How does the source define wisdom in this context?
They define it as context, ethics, and discernment. Wisdom is knowing what to do with the intelligence. It's knowing when the answer is technically right, but morally wrong. It's knowing when to ignore the data because the human context matters more.
So if the AI gives me 10 options for a marketing campaign, the intelligence is generating the options.
Right.
The wisdom is knowing which one won't alienate our customers or ruin our brand reputation.
Precisely. And there's another aspect to this value shift, truth as discernment.
Okay.
We are about to be flooded with content. I mean, we thought the internet was noisy before. Just wait. Infinite blog posts, infinite emails, infinite generated videos.
The tsunami of sludge, as some people call it.
So the skill of the future isn't creating content. It's discerning reality.
Sifting through it all.
The ability to sift through the simulation and find the truth. The editor, not the writer, becomes the king.
And I assume this links back to presence.
It does. In a world where simulation is easy, presence becomes rare. Being actually there, looking someone in the eye, understanding the nuance of a pause, feeling the weight of a decision. AI accelerates feedback loops. It makes what is incoherent or shallow collapse faster because we can see through it. But it also makes what is humane more valuable.
So the more digital the world gets, the more premium we place on the analog.
That's the theory. If you want to stand out in the age of AI, don't try to outcompute the machine. You will lose.
So what do?
You try to outhuman the machine. Be more visceral, more vulnerable, more present.
The source suggests that humanity's next evolution isn't technological. That really stuck with me.
It's powerful.
We're all waiting for the next chip, the next update, the next neural link. But the source says the evolution is relational.
Relational. It's about how we relate to our tools, how we relate to each other, and how we relate to ourselves.
The challenge isn't to build a better machine.
No, it's to build a better relationship with the machine so we don't lose ourselves in it.
It's interesting because usually technology pushes us forward into something new, toward the stars or the virtual world. But this argument suggests AI is actually pushing us back.
Back to the basics.
Back to something ancient. It's forcing us to double down on the stuff that makes us biological, the messy stuff.
It is forcing us to remember. The source ends with this really beautiful, paradoxical thought. The future is not about AI becoming human.
Right.
We spend so much time worrying about that. Is it sentient? Is it alive? Does it have rights?
We're obsessed with the Pinocchio story. We want the puppet to become a real boy.
But that's a distraction. The real task is about humans remembering how to be human. That is the secret. The machine is just a mirror.
So if we don't like what we see...
If we see a society that is shallow, automated, biased, and disconnected, it's not the machine's fault. It's because the machine is reflecting us.
It's not about competing on processing speed. We will lose that race every time. It's about competing on being.
Being, feeling, taking responsibility, being vulnerable, the things that are inefficient, messy, and painful.
The human stuff?
That's the human stuff, and that's what AI can't touch.
It really reframes the whole anxiety, doesn't it? Instead of AI is coming to get me, it's AI is daring me to be more myself.
It's a test of our humanity. And it's a test we have to take every day now whenever we open that app or look at that screen.
Well, that is a lot to process, but I think it gives us a much healthier way to look at the tools on our desks.
I hope so.
They aren't alien invaders. They're just shiny surfaces reflecting our own complexity back at us.
And hopefully prompting us to wake up.
To stop operating on autopilot and start actually driving the car again.
That's the goal.
Before we sign off, I want to leave you, the listener, with one final thought to mull over. We talked about how AI tests our ability to remain accountable and embodied. But think about this. If AI is a mirror and the reflection is getting clearer and sharper every day, what happens when we finally see ourselves clearly for the first time? Do we change the reflection or do we try to break the mirror?
That is the question.
Thanks for diving deep with us. We'll see you next time.